Hey.
We're here at the Knitting City Show at a very warm Ali Pali. We are dripping at the moment, but I'm demonstrating what you can do with FormAfoam. I've just found my love for FormAfoam, and when David pans down, I'll show you what we're doing. I've cut here a piece of FormAfoam. There's black and there's white, and it's a sort of foam, dense foam. But if you need to know more, you can look on my blog. The 3mm means that you can put it through a sewing machine, so that's a real advantage. But how are we going to play with it? Well, I'm going to put a piece of foil, which is transfoil, onto the surface and cover it with some silicone sheet. You need also to have your iron on, and a slow, methodical iron, because what the foil is doing, it's actually attaching to the warm surface of the FormAForm, so it's actually a molecular bond rather than it just sitting on the surface. So having done that, you'll see that it wriggles a little bit, and if you then carefully peel the surface apart, you'll see how wonderfully glistening it is with the foil. And obviously there's lots of different foils available to suit your palette. But having done that, what else can we do? Although that's quite a nice surface on its own. Well, if you take a heat gun and you've got a stamp already prepared, which I just happen to have one there, taking your heat gun, hopefully, apart from the noise, you'll be able to see that the surface starts to glisten. And that says that it's getting up to a really, really nice temperature, where it's going to accept the impression of the stamp that I'm going to use. And although some of the samples we're going to show you later on are using the new peacock stamp that my friend Elizabeth Thomas has designed, this one is one of the Carantha stamps, the squares. And I'm just going to place that on there and press down. You do need to press down because you're asking a lot of the material to squish into the stamp. Take it away and you'll see, hopefully, if I just move it slightly, that we've now got a rather nice impression. Again, that's quite nice just on its own, but there's more that you can do. And using Crafty Notions Colourful Thoughts paints with a small amount of cut and dry foam, can gently add a very fine veil of colour over the FormAfoam. And obviously, as you know, there are lots and lots of colour within the Crafty Notions Colourful Thoughts range, some of which are new, but these two just happen to be copper and one of my all-time favourites, peacock. So that's what you can do with it, but we just need to let that one dry a little bit before one that I did earlier, and you can see the difference. I've used exactly the same colours, but what I've done is enhance the surface with some of the gilding waxes. This one just happens to be peacock, and when the paint's dry we can just add further enhancement of colour. That sounds very posh, but really it's just adding layers of colour on to give that real deep, rich illusion that we've changed essentially a very boring piece of felt. I've got felt on the brain, haven't I? Boring piece of foam. You can tell I've been a felt maker for God knows how long. Piece of foam from that to something that you really wouldn't recognise as starting off like that. Okay?